Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you are joining. Am I audible? If somebody can just raise their hand or just type in the chat that my voice is clear. Okay, that's great. So it means I am audible. So there are just a couple of people right now. Normally people join in, but sometimes because this webinar is being recorded, so people um, they actually prefer to just listen to the recording. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to start so that the people who have actually joined on time, they can ask questions. There are, I think, 33 or 34 registrations, but normally very few people turn up, so I'm not worried about the number here. So I'm not going to waste my time. I'm just going to start the webinar. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so again, if somebody can just type in the chat that my screen is visible, that would be helpful so that I can actually start the webinar, the presentation. Yeah, can you see my screen? Anybody can type in the chat? Yes, no? Yeah, okay. I got one hand, so I'm assuming that my screen is visible. So let me just formally start. So thank you very much for taking time out and coming on this webinar. So basically, this webinar serves two purposes. So this is going to be an kind of a monthly feature. Every last week of every month, I'm not sure about the day, but it would be around the same time. Last week of every month, we are going to have this webinar around the PL 300 Microsoft Power BI Data Analyst exam, and it is going to serve two purposes. First part, which would be like around 15 to 20 minutes, I'll be talking about the generic Power BI PL 300 exam. Why, if somebody wants to declare the certification, first they need to understand what is Power BI, why it is an important tool to learn, what is the PL 300 certification exam, and how they can and how anybody can actually go and start learning about PL 300 and what do I offer. And then once I am done, then the house would be open for question and answers. So right now you guys have been put on mute, but once I am done with my presentation, then I'll enable the mics, and you can ask questions, and or you can even put those in the chat as well, whatever way you are comfortable. And then there are a few people who have already registered for this course, who are already preparing for the course through watching the videos, and they would get a chance to actually ask questions related to the content. If they have any questions, anything they want to discuss, when do they want to actually take the exam, anything which is kind of a hurdle, anything that requires them to be more motivated to actually go and do that. So that is how it is going to be. So I'm going to formally start. I've kind of given the agenda, so I'm going to briefly talk about what is Power BI, why you actually need to learn Power BI, then what are the three important pillars in terms of showcasing your Power BI credentials if you start to learn Power BI, and then obviously the PL 300 exam, and then the question and answer. So the demo is basically the website. I'm going to show you what is the website, and there is nothing in terms of I'll be like not showing you anything else. So that is pretty much it. Okay, so my brief introduction. My name is Abu Bakr Alvi. So I'm based in Islamabad, Pakistan. I'm basically a Power BI consultant, trainer, and developer. So I have been a project management professional for a good about 24 years, and for the last six and a half years, I've been primarily working as a Power BI developer. So I've been doing data analytics all my life. So I am also a Microsoft certified trainer. I've done certifications in data engineering, and then the two Power BI certifications, which is the PL 300 and the DP 500. So this is all about myself. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. You can also have a look at my portfolio, which you can see here. on Novi Pro, and then there is a YouTube channel. You can also go and actually watch this watch channel. I regularly post videos around different topics. Recently, I've started a podcast where I actually talk to a lot of people who are either working in the data industry or managing the data industry in various roles. So that was about me. So now, why Power BI? So a lot of people know what Power BI is, actually it means in terms of the business intelligence. So I'm not going to talk about it, but it is very important to just highlight the fact that it is one of the fastest growing skills all over the world. So today I was reading an article, and that article, I actually do not remember where I read that, but the thing that was important was that out of the 500 companies which are called the Fortune 500, out of those, 97% of the companies are using Power BI for some kind of business intelligence. So you can imagine how rapidly Power BI has made a footprint in the market. So this is a snapshot from the Coursera skills report. So Coursera actually publishes this report for the coming year. So they published this report last year in December 2023, and Power BI actually made it to three different areas. So that was the only skill that was there in the overall. So you can see it is on rank number 6. Then there is the business skill trends for 2024. So here Power BI is again in the top 10 at number 5, and then the data science skill trends, it is ranked number 1. So none of the other tools or none of the other areas actually made it to three different verticals. So Power BI was the only one. So there are so many other things that you can go and read about Power BI, and people talking about as Power BI as one of the skills to learn in 2024. So I'm not going to elaborate on that, but it is important that you should learn Power BI. And the most good thing about the most, I would say, thing which actually is important for somebody who actually wants to learn a new tool is that they don't want to spend anything. So they want that, okay, we want to learn something which does not cost us a good money. So Power BI is actually free. So if you download Power BI desktop, you don't have to pay anything. You don't have to worry about paying anything. It's not a 30-day period trial period or say 3-month trial period. It is free for life. So the Power BI desktop environment where you actually go and develop your reports, it's absolutely free. So that is a very big attraction if you talk about learning Power BI. So that was a bit about Power BI. And once you start learning about Power BI, then I'm just now going to focus on the bit which is important for entering the industry. So in order to enter the industry, you actually need three things. So while you are learning Power BI and you actually follow a process, then you have to focus on building a data portfolio where you actually work on Power BI based projects, end-to-end projects, and showcase those as part of your portfolio. Once you do that, then a very good skill that kinds of validates your knowledge is to actually get the Microsoft certification, which is called as Power BI Data Analyst. And this certification you achieve by clearing the PL300 exam. So that is the exam that I'm going to talk about. And then obviously you have to put all of the things that are there on your portfolio and the certification on your LinkedIn and on your CV and your resume. So you have to actually tailor your resume for an entry level BI role or a data analyst role. So these three things, these are very important. While you are learning, you just need to keep this thing in mind that there are hundreds and thousands of people who are learning Power BI. So if you want to learn something and enter the industry, you should be prepared that you are going to face a lot of competition. But if you actually do the three things, then there is a very good chance that you are going to actually stand out. So once I talk about data portfolio, it actually showcases the data visualization and data analysis skills that you have gained while learning Power BI. And if you have worked on a few projects, then you are definitely aware about most businesses that you have worked on. So let's say you have worked on a data set that talks about the retail industry. Then you might have worked on something that is related to the HR industry. You might have worked on some data set that is relevant to maybe the housing industry. So anything that you can think of, you need to actually go and read about that industry and get that domain knowledge. So if you actually do a 5 6 projects, then it means that you have domain knowledge of at least 5 6 areas, which shows your business acumen. Then obviously the communication skills, the data storytelling, these are part of how you actually go and design your report. And innovation and creativity is also a part of this thing. Then once you have actually built a portfolio, then you need to validate all of that learning by getting certified. And the best certification obviously comes from from Microsoft itself, because the Microsoft has actually developed Power BI. So if you get certified, then this is a good global certification, and it validates the technical skills that you have developed. And like I said, it differentiates you from other candidates and improves your credibility, versatility, and it also showcases that you want to learn while you are actually working. So it actually showcases a continuous learning mindset. And if somebody has to actually train you on the job, they don't have to pay that money and spend that money and train you. So you have already excuse me, so you have already done that. So it, in terms of the business, they actually do not have to spend any money on you to get trained. So these are some of the things. And then your CV or resume or your LinkedIn profile, it should also showcase everything that I have highlighted in point 1 and 2. And it should obviously focus on the technical expertise, the analytical mindset, how you actually put the skills and how those relate to the job role, and obviously the links to the portfolio and and all the that relevant certification, especially the PL 300 certification. So this is all about learning Power BI and showcasing your skills. So I am really not, going and talking about where you can go and learn Power BI. So I did a webinar. You can go on my YouTube. I did a webinar a few days back where you can actually go and see that, where I have talked about this topic in a lot of detail. So coming to the PL 300 exam. So if you have learned Power BI the way it should be learned, then you are kind of already prepared, like 70% you are already prepared for the PL 300 examination, because these are the four pillars of Power BI development. The first one being preparing the data, which we call as in technical knowledge ETL, or extraction, transformation, and loading. Part of the data analysis cycle. Then you go and learn about data modeling, which is the dimensional data modeling, star schema, snowflake schema, normalization, denormalization, these concepts. Then you learn the language, which is the language of Power BI, to create formulas, which is called as DAX. So this is also a part of the modeling. You can also say that it is a separate area, but it totally depends on the data model that you have created. Then the visualization and analysis part, what kind of visuals are there, how you actually use those visuals, what are the best practices. So all of that. And then once you actually develop everything, then you have to deploy it or share it with other people for whom you are actually working. So this part is basically related to that part where you actually, once you have developed everything, how do you actually deploy that and manage all you have, what you have developed. So the PL 300 exam has these four learning paths, and these are very similar to how you actually do Power BI development in real life. And within this exam, these are the weightages for each of these sections that you have on the exam. So it is a multiple choice exam that you have to do in 2 hours approximately. You have to solve around 45 to 50 questions within that time. So once you start preparing for the exam, these are the topics which are there on the Microsoft official website for PL 300. So they do this revision every 3 months, where they actually go and maybe add something or maybe remove something, because the tool is continuously evolving. So there is one major modification, or one major, you can say, change in the exam. every 2 years, where they like change 30 to 40% of the content, because everything that has happened over 2 years in terms of development, they actually add that. But then there are a couple of minor adjustments every 3 4 months, but that's not something to worry about. So these are the topics that you're going to find on the Microsoft Learn website. I'm going to give the link for this once we go into that question and answer. So all these learning paths have sections, and within these sections there are topics. So you are actually supposed to prepare for the exam based on these topics. But again, if you have learned Power BI and you use it, then almost 70% of the content is already covered. Some of the minor areas which are not very important, but they are on the exam, and you should obviously know about those areas. So those are covered. So this is the official syllabus for the PL 300 exam. I'm not going to talk about each and every topic, but it is again, like I said, if you want to learn Power BI, just go and watch a few videos that I have done on my channel. But the important thing is that a lot of people they actually struggle to plan and actually appear in this exam. They have experience working in Power BI, or they are learning Power BI daily on a daily basis. They're using it, but they actually struggle to sit in the exam for various reasons. And most important reason is that the people actually struggle to plan. They start the preparation, then they are like feel motivated for a few days, then there is a gap, then they go come back, they have they again kind of start from zero. So this is a cycle which actually starts, then stops, then starts, then stops, and they actually fail to plan and take the exam in a few months, or maybe like 9 10 weeks, or maybe 2 3 months. So that is probably the area where you actually most of the people struggle. So I have prepared this exam preparation course, where I have given whatever resources I felt that are needed for any student learning Power BI and wanting to upskill and get certified in PL 300. They can get benefit out of it. So I have this is a snapshot of a cheat sheet. I call it the PL 300 important points to remember. So this is kind of a cheat sheet that covers all the different sections and all the topics within that. So this is like 30 35 pages that I have prepared, and a lot of people have actually used this cheat sheet, and they have kind of recognized that this was very helpful in terms of preparing for the exam, while they cleared the exam, and they put the status on their LinkedIn. But now I have like gone one step further, and I have developed this course. So previously in 2023 I did 3 or 4 badges where I took, I think one was a complete live class, and then there was a combination where a few of the classes were live, and then some of the stuff was recorded. And in December 2023, I have launched this recorded course, which is a fully recorded course that you can subscribe to, and I'm going to show you the link, and I'm also going to show you the web page in a bit. So you can just go. It's a 30-hour self-paced video course where all the topics that I have shown, those have been covered, and it is really a hands-on preparation course. So this is an access that is there for you for life. And once you actually start preparing and you are done with all the watching all the videos, you actually get an exclusive 30 minutes one-on-one session where you can discuss anything that you want to discuss related to the exam. And now I have from this month I have added this webinar where people can actually come and they can ask questions, they can discuss any issues that they are facing. So this is how the whole thing has been planned. So people who actually want to do this certification, they do not have any plan, or they do not want to actually go and watch and collect material from different places on the internet. This is a one stop shop where they can just come and they can watch everything and prepare for the exam. So for them, you can just come and sign up for the course. For those who have already signed up, they are already watching, they obviously can ask questions. So this is the point where I actually kind of stop. And before I actually open the house or open the floor for asking the questions, let me just share with you. So I see there are probably a few questions that are already there. So let me, no, this is just a message. So let me just show you what is this, website. So let me just show you. So this is the website. I'm just going to paste this in the link there. So this is the area where you can actually come and you can actually register for the course. So the price for this course is 49 US dollars. But if you want a discount, I can, even give discount. So for that, you just need to contact with me in private, and we can discuss that. So this is how the course, like some of the things that are there, people, the testimonials of people, and then the things that I just showed you, all the official syllabus, and some of the FAQs related to the course. So once you actually enroll on the course, then you get the access to everything which is there on the course in the form of videos, in the form of practice questions. So we have like around 200 plus practice questions that I have actually either solved or I actually share it with you, and people can come and we can discuss those questions, any questions related to those questions, or any queries related to those questions. All of that is covered. So ideally, if you have a plan, you should be able to clear everything from start to finish in 60 to 9 in 60 days, or maximum you should be able to do that in 90 days. Because if you plan beyond that, then again you're going to face the same dilemma. You're going to start, you're going to stop, then you're going to start, then you're going to stop. So it's going to be a start stop kind of a cycle, which I personally feel is just a wastage of time, and excuse me, and obviously a lot of energy. So that's all about the my side of the presentation. So I have stopped sharing. So now you can either put the questions, whatever questions you have. Let me just put a link to the actual the actual website where you can go and enroll in the course. I have put that in the chat. You can just go and explore that. And now I'm going to, if you can ask the questions in the chat, or I can unmute you if you raise your hand, and you can use your microphone to actually ask the question. So now that is the end from my side. Thank you very much for your patience, and please go ahead and ask questions if there are any. So I'm going to entertain people who are joining this for the first time, and people who are already enrolled. I think there is one. I can see Medina is there, so she may probably would like to ask questions related to the actual course. But you can go in any order. So the floor is open. Please go ahead and ask the questions. Just raise your hand, and I'll go and unmute you, and you can if you want to ask a question verbally, you can do that, or otherwise you just can simply put the questions in the chat. Thank you very much. Yes, guys. Any questions? Yes, Medina, anything that you want to ask? Any questions that you want to ask about the actual preparation? Abdullah? Yes, no? Anything you want, if you don't want to use your mic, and you don't want to ask a questions verbally, then just put that in the chat, and I'll answer that. Yes, guys. Okay, if so there is no question, then thank you very much for the time. So this is going to be a regular session. I'm going to be doing it um, every month, probably the last week of every month. People can come and they can ask questions about Power BI, PL300, anything that is that they feel they need to know. So the point of keeping the presentation short at my end was that people can ask questions. So if people want to ask questions, they can ask questions right now. If people don't want to ask questions, they just want to listen to what I had to say. So then there is no point in continuing. So thank you very much for your time and patience and for coming here. So this recording of this presentation is going to be emailed to whosoever registered for the webinar, and you are going to get the recording in your email, right? So I'm going to ask one last time, anything that if anybody wants to ask, just put that in the chat. So all right, so there is no question. So thank you very much, guys, and have a good rest of the day, and I'll catch up with you next month. Take care. Bye bye.